Hey, so my name is jaydaburley, and I am going to tell the story of how I met Sara Ramirez. And if you don't know who Sara Ramirez is, I will tell you a little bit about her, and I'll tell you a little bit about the background of how we got to meeting. So basically, Sara Ramirez is a Mexican, Irish, American immigrant, bisexual, queer, freaking badass. Like, she's a goddess. And I am a part of the Netflix generation who basically binge watched Grey's Anatomy when it became available, and I just fell in love with her character. She played Dr. Callie Torres, who was an openly bisexual character on the show. And so again, I just absolutely fell in love. And then my friends were watching it at the same time, and so they all just kept coming to me. Mind you, this was like 3 years ago, no, this was 4 years ago when my friends actually started it and when it all came about. But they just came up to me and they were like, oh, you look just like Callie Torres. Like, I don't know if you noticed that. And I was just like, no, but thank you so much, because she's so pretty and like she's so cool. That's such a good compliment for me. So that led into me creating a Twitter account where I just was like super Callie Torres fangirl. I made it and my handle was Mini Calliope because everybody just said that we looked alike. That I was just like, okay, well, that's it. That's my mom and we're gonna be best friends, period. So that being said, Sada had seen my tweets through Twitter. Now she would go and like them sometimes, she would retweet them, or she would quote tweet them. Like, we had a solid friendship through Twitter back in the day, like 3 years ago. But that being said, it made my experience of meeting her 10 times better, and I will explain why. So, I just want to throw out there, like, Sada being the person that she is and knowing that she has a voice really just is so inspirational, because there's a lot of people out here who have a voice and don't use it, but she definitely does. Like, she sticks up for a lot of the LGBTQ community, and she fights back, and she says what she wants to say, and she's bold and beautiful, and, just embraces the person that she is. And it's just so empowering and strong, because it really helped me like appreciate the person that I am growing up, because me being white, black, and Mexican, and when I first followed her I was bisexual at the time, but through the years I got to know myself better because of her, and now I'm like openly lesbian, and all my friends and family know, and they all appreciate it, or they all accept it. So it's just really great. Like, I really appreciate her as a person for the fact that she uses her platform for the greater good. Like, she's just amazing. So that being said, Sada posted that she was going to be co-hosting a event in New York in December of, like, I think 2017. I don't remember. 2016? Not sure. But anyways, she posted that she was going to be co-hosting an event, and it was going to be in New York, and it was called the True Colors Fund, and it was alongside Cyndi Lauper. And I saw that, and at the time I was like, I'm going. Like, that's it. I hear all these stories about all my friends that say that they've met her and how great it was, and I was like, I am going to do it. Like, my time is coming. So I went ahead and bought myself a ticket. It was a floor seat ticket because I wanted to be close, and so I bought that ticket, and then I bought my plane ticket, and then I just kind of went to my mom and was like, hey, I'm going to New York by myself, never been, I'm only 20, it's cool. And my mom was like, okay, be safe. And then I just did. I flew to New York early in the morning. I think it was like 10 a.m. by the time I got there. I got in a cab, or I called a cab by myself, so that was pretty cool. That was an experience. And this lady next to me was like, oh, do you want to share a cab with me? And I was like, yeah, hop in, stranger. And so we did, and then they dropped me off at the venue, and it was cool because like I was new to the area, so I wanted to like go shopping and like look around and explore, but I also have anxiety, so I couldn't, like, my body was like, oh, you've never been here, you should probably stay safe. And so I just, like, stayed in the general area of the venue. But it was cool because they had a Starbucks right next door to it, so I just stayed at Starbucks and was just, like, chilling. Then as time went on, I made some friends, and they were super cool. I can't really tell you what their names are, unfortunately, because again, this was like 3 years ago. I don't remember everybody, but I do know that it was a lesbian couple. There was a lady that was a mom, there was a Spanish girl, and then there was a daughter and her mom that were, like, standing outside, and we were all just waiting together. But a group of us decided that we were going to go out to eat to a restaurant that was nearby because they had heard that Sara had not been at the venue yet. So they were like, we have time, we don't expect her to come till later. So we all went out to eat. I personally couldn't eat. I think we were at an Italian restaurant, and I was just, like, freaking out because I wanted to meet her so bad that I could not eat. I was just like, I need to go, I need to stand outside, I need to see her. So after that, you know, we went back, and I just want to say that I am definitely a city girl because I was not dressed for the New York weather. Like, it was December, so it's winter time, and I was not layered up whatsoever, which is crazy because it's like fall time now here in Florida, and I'm always layered up. But I was not layered up at that time in my life. Like, it was so bad. And so everybody was just, like, surrounding me in, like, a circle, and I was just in the center, or they, like, went and hugged me because I was freezing. But it was so worth it because I had to see Sara. And sometimes you gotta make sacrifices, you know? So she finally pulled up. I don't want to say that she was, like, fashionably late, but she definitely was, like, one of the last people to show up to the event. And she showed up, and then, you know, she got out of the car, and I just looked at her, and I just, like, was in, like, awe. Like, I couldn't say anything. I looked, and I was just like, she's so pretty. Like, that was it. Like, that's all I could say. And then I guess I yelled out, like, hey, Sara, look to your left when you're on the stage, because I knew that's where I was sitting. And it was funny because I'm pretty sure she didn't hear it or care, but, like, the video of it, like, when somebody recorded just me in the background, was so, like, funny for no reason. I'm just extra sorry. But yeah, so then she went inside, and we were like, okay, cool, let's go, like, get our seats and stuff. So we're in there, and we're waiting, and, you know, the show starts, and she's on stage, she's talking, and then it got to a point, maybe in, like, the middle of the show, where she was like, hey, you know, I just want to say that we appreciate everybody for coming out. I do want to let you guys know that we will be taking donations if you would like, and it's going to be at the end of the show, which led to one random person just standing up and, like, walked up to her and gave her $1, I think. She was like, thanks. And then, like, 4 people got up afterwards, and then they decided to turn on the lights in the venue, and so everybody just got up, and she was just kind of, like, really funny about it, because she was just like, okay, well, we're doing this, so if you have money, just come hand it to me, like, I will take all of your money. And it was funny because so many people, like, got up. So me being in the floor seat, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna meet her, and I'm gonna give her my entire life savings. But it was probably just like a $20 bill that I had. So I walked up to her, and she looked at me with the biggest smile, and she was just like, hi. And then I, like, dropped my money in, and she was like, thank you. And then I was just kind of like, hi. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out. Like, I was so starstruck by her, and by the fact that she looked at me, because, like, in my face, I was just like, oh my god. So at that point, I walked back to my seat, and I was just kind of like my nerves were raging, because, you know, I met, like, the most amazing person that I was so in love with, and she, like, it just freaked me out. Like, my hands were shaking. I couldn't. So at that point, I got on Twitter to, like, calm down, and I tweeted her, and I was just like, again, my @name being Mini Calliope, and she had already knew my Twitter, so I tweeted her, and I was like, hey, how much did we happen to make in that bin? And then apparently she responded to me, but I didn't know until after the show was over, because my friends afterwards were like, dude, Sara tweeted you, how do you feel? And I was just like, oh, what? But yeah, so she tweeted me. Apparently it was like, was off the lines of like, oh, we got like 2K, thank you guys so much, really appreciate you, love New York, something like that. I don't know exactly what the tweet said, but it was something off the lines of that. But again, it was like 3 years ago, so I'm sure it's still probably up somewhere if you wanted to find it. But that was that. So she tweeted that, and then, you know, the rest of the show was basically she was just singing and she was dancing, and it was really good, and it was a great time, and I was jealous because I just wanted to be on stage with her so bad, just dancing alongside, but I couldn't. So after the show ended, you know, I reunited with all my friends, and we basically were walking out to the back where we had waited before when she came, because they were like, oh, the same way she enters, the same way she's gonna leave. So we're like, okay, cool. So we went back, and then I told them, I was like, well, if we're meeting her, like, I'm gonna run to Starbucks and I'm gonna go fix my makeup because I want to look good if she meets me. And then I was like, but if she comes out before the time I get back, please, like, stall her because I want to meet her. So my friends were like, okay, cool. So, you know, me just runs over to Starbucks and fixes my makeup in the bathroom, and then I came back. By the time I got back, all of my friends were like barricaded off, like they were just alongside, they couldn't move or do anything because the people or the security was just like, no, you guys need to be held off. So I went to them and I was like, okay guys, well, you guys are all over here, so I'm gonna go on the other side. One, because I get claustrophobic. Two, because if anybody's gonna meet her, I'm going to literally try my best. And they were like, Jada, if you meet her, please let her know that we want to meet her too. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take one for the team. And like, we all wanted to meet her because we all had been waiting so long that, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm the only one that's not like barricaded off, so I'm gonna try. Like, that was the best I can do, was try. So basically I was just on the other side, and I had gotten my picture ready because I drew a picture of her and I wanted her to just autograph it so that I can have it for myself. And so, like, I had my Sharpie ready, I had the picture ready, and then I look and she starts walking out, and I, like, just casually walked up to her, and at that point, like, she had, like, 1 foot in, like, 1 arm in the car, like, ready to go, and I just, like, came up, and I was just said it so fast because I just wanted to, like, get it out there before I got in trouble, because her security guards were like, whoa, 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 and I was just kind of like, I'm gonna do this. So I was just like, hey Sara, can you autograph this picture that I drew of you? And then I don't think she even like comprehended what I said, but she just turned around and she was like shook, like she didn't know what to do, and she was just like, yeah, make it quick. And I was just like, okay. And so, like, I had it, I opened it up, like, I had her sign it, and she was like, where do you want me to sign? And I was like, honestly, you can sign anywhere. And that being said, this was the picture that I drew, and she autographed right here, and so it was cool. So I have that forever for myself. But yeah, so she did that, and then she like turned away and she was just like, it was nice meeting you. And so I just kind of like looked away too, and I was just like, yeah, you actually just tweeted me. And then I don't know, like, it struck a nerve in her because she literally turned around so fast with the biggest smile, like, I swear, and she was just like, oh my god, that was you? And then I like was so happy, like I melted, and I was just like, yeah. And then she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming and your support. And I just like blacked out in that moment. I think I said like, of course, but that's where the conversation ended because I did not know anything else to say. I was just like, oh my god, she sees me as a person. Like, it was crazy because I told her she had tweeted me, and like she knew my handle, like she knew Minnie Calliope, but only on Twitter. So that was just the moment that she finally met me and I finally met her, and it was just great. It was just so great. And then all of my friends saw that, you know, she met me, and then they like broke through the barricade and like ambushed, and they were just all like, can you sign this, can you sign this, can you sign this? And at that point, you know, because she signed mine, I think she just kind of was like, I'm here, I might as well do it. So she did that. So she went ahead and signed everybody's autograph. I went back and I asked her for a hug, and she was like, oh my god, you're so sweet. So I gave her a hug, and then I got a picture with her too. But my picture was just really bad because, again, I was 20 years old, and that's back when like Snapchat was really popping, and so I had the dog filter on, and it worked for me. Like, it put the dog on my face, but it did not put the dog on Sada's face. So she's just sitting there smiling, and I'm sitting there looking like a dog. Like, it was so bad. But honestly, it's okay, because I still had that picture, so it's fine. I went ahead and like I like photoshopped myself, and I like put another picture of myself on top of that picture, and now I'm like satisfied with it. But yeah, no, I still got the picture, so that was cool, and I still got to hug her. And, you know, we had our little mini conversation, but it was great. And everybody else had their turn to talk to her. So that was really cool, because, you know, everybody got to interact and they got to feel special, because they all were just like, we were just a bunch of fangirls. Like, we just wanted to meet her. Like, that was the whole purpose. Like, we just wanted to have a moment. And so it was cool. And then one of my friends took actually a picture of me taking a picture with her. So I have that as well. So it was just a great time. And after I met her, I just kind of like stepped aside, because I was like, oh, everybody else should, you know, talk to her too. And then I was just like looking at the picture like, wow, this really happened. Like, she really signed it. She like, I had my moment, and it was just like meant to be. So after that, then she like went to get back in their car finally, and she was waiting, and she didn't look at us. Like, it was funny. Like, she was just sitting there, and she was like overwhelmed. You could just tell that she just like needed to take a moment to breathe. But excuse me. So after that, then, you know, her car started moving forward. So then it was cute, because she looked directly at me, and she waved, and she was like, bye. And then I was just like, oh my god, bye. Like, I was freaking out. Like, I couldn't. But it was cute, because I was like the first person that she saw, and then I was like the last person that she saw. So that was my experience. After that, everything was just kind of a blur. I think we went to a bar and like met the famous director. I think it's Michael Myers. I'm not really sure, but yeah. And I just didn't even pay attention to anything that happened after that. I was just like, my trip is over. I am satisfied. I can go home now. Like, it's fine. Also, I was freezing, so I was just ready to get anywhere. But yeah, so that being said, that was my experience meeting Sara, and it was just so like iconic and legendary, and I really just appreciated that she even gave me the time of day to give me an autograph or to even talk to me, and it was just such a good time. So I wanted to share this basically just so that everybody who, you know, is a fan of her, because I'm sure she has thousands, but everybody who's a fan of her that didn't get to meet her, you know, I just wanted to share my experience so that you know that you should never give up on your dream. You shouldn't, because she is the sweetest person, and if you want to meet her, like, you should try, you should go for it. Like, it was great. But also, don't ambush her, because she's definitely a person. But that being said, I'm no longer Mini Calliope on Twitter, but if you do have any questions or anything that you want me to talk about or feel like I didn't mention in this video, definitely, you know, send me a message. I am now jaydaburley on Twitter and Instagram, and that's jaydaburley. And yeah, you can definitely ask me anything. I'm willing to answer any questions you have, or talk about the experience if you want to. Like, I can talk about it all the time. It's just such a great, like, it's such a great story, but it's my story, so everybody deserves to have their own, and that's why I wanted to share it. Now, if Sara sees this, you know, I'm sorry for creeping up on you that night, but I really appreciate the time that you gave me, and I still think that you are such a humble and beautiful person, and yeah. But I'm not, like, I'm no longer Mini Calliope. I felt like that era, I changed it because that era definitely, like, ended. Sara started playing a new character on a new show, you know, and she started just, like, branching out as far as her acting goes. And Calliope's story ended on Grey's Anatomy, so I was just, like meeting her when she wasn't no longer on the show, like, it was just such a good moment and experience to end the Mini Calliope session of my life. Like, it was just great, and you know, I still appreciate it. I still love Callie as a person, as a character to this day, And I just thank Sara for all the experiences she let me have and she helped me with, even though she doesn't know that she did, but she did. And yeah, so again, if anybody has any questions or comments or concerns, definitely hit me up. And yeah, peace.